Once upon a time, in a remote mountainous region surrounded by tall peaks and winding rivers, there lived a man named Victor. Victor was a kind man, but his life was complicated. He had 2 wives. His first wife, Lydia, was a gentle soul who loved Victor and their family deeply. Together they had 2 children, Clara, who was 10 years old, and her younger brother, Noah, who was 8. Victor's second wife, Matilda, was very different. She was shrewd and ambitious, always seeking ways to make herself and her daughter Abigail the center of attention. Abigail was just like her mother, spoiled and unkind. Life in Victor's household was tense. The small home, perched on a rocky slope, was filled with constant arguments between Lydia and Matilda. Despite the chaos, Lydia always tried to shield her children from Matilda's harshness. One day, tragedy struck. Lydia fell gravely ill. She lay on her bed in the small room overlooking the mountains, her children sitting beside her, tears in their eyes. "My dear children," Lydia said softly, her voice weak but full of love, "you are my greatest treasures. If anything happens to me, promise me you'll stay strong. And remember this: when life becomes difficult, there is a secret in the old chest at the foot of my bed. It will guide you." Clara and Noah nodded, not fully understanding her words, but clinging to them as a final gift from their mother. A few days later, Lydia passed away, and grief filled the small home. Not long after, Matilda took control of the household. "I have Abigail to care for," she snapped. "You 2 are old enough to fend for yourselves." Clara and Noah were heartbroken. One night, as they lay awake listening to the howling wind outside, Clara whispered, "What do you think Mother meant about the old chest?" Noah sat up, his eyes wide with curiosity. "Maybe it's something that can help us," he said. "We should check tomorrow." The next morning, as the sun rose over the mountains, the children crept into their mother's room. Inside the chest, they found something extraordinary: a small golden key and a map. Clara carefully lifted the golden key and the old, worn map from the chest. The map was fragile, its edges crumbling as she unrolled it. Noah leaned in, his small hands trembling with excitement. "What does it say?" Noah asked, his voice a mix of curiosity and fear. Clara squinted at the faded writing. "It's a map of the mountains," she said slowly. "And look, there's a red X marked near a place called the Whispering Cave." Noah's eyes widened. "What do you think is there?" "I don't know," Clara replied. "But if Mother left this for us, it must be important. We should go." The siblings decided to keep the discovery a secret from Matilda. Early the next morning, before the sun peeked over the snowy peaks, Clara and Noah slipped out of the house. They followed the map, their breath visible in the crisp mountain air. The journey was treacherous. The path was steep and covered with loose rocks. Clara held Noah's hand tightly as they climbed higher. Hours passed, and the siblings grew tired and hungry. Noah's stomach growled loudly. "Clara, I don't think I can go any farther," he said, slumping onto a rock. Clara knelt beside him, pulling a small piece of bread from her pocket. "Here," she said, breaking it in half. "It's not much, but it'll help." Just as they finished their tiny meal, a soft rustling sound came from the nearby bushes. Clara froze. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. Noah nodded, his eyes wide. "What is it?" Before Clara could answer, a small animal emerged from the brush. It was a fox, but unlike any they'd ever seen. Its fur shimmered like silver in the sunlight, and its eyes sparkled with intelligence. "You two look lost," the fox said, its voice calm and soothing. Clara and Noah gasped. "You can talk?" Clara stammered. The fox nodded. "Yes, I know why you're here. You're looking for the Whispering Cave, aren't you?" The siblings exchanged glances. "How do you know?" Noah asked. The fox smiled. "Your mother sent me. I've been waiting for you. Follow me, and I'll guide you." Without hesitation, the children followed the fox. They walked for hours, crossing streams and climbing rocky paths, until they finally arrived at the entrance of a dark, mysterious cave. The sound of faint whispers floated out, sending shivers down their spines. "This is it," the fox said. "Inside you'll find what you need, but be brave." Clara and Noah stood at the entrance of the Whispering Cave, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. The whispers drifting from the cave seemed to call their names, though they couldn't understand the words. "Are you sure we should go in?" Noah asked, clutching Clara's hand tightly. Clara nodded, though her voice trembled. "Mother wouldn't have sent us here if it wasn't important. We have to be brave." The silver fox, who had led them this far, gave an encouraging nod. "Inside, you'll face challenges, but if you trust each other and your instincts, you'll find what you seek." Clara and Noah took a deep breath and stepped into the cave. The air grew colder, and the whispers grew louder, echoing off the damp stone walls. As they walked deeper, the light from the entrance faded until they were surrounded by darkness. Suddenly, a soft glow appeared ahead. It was coming from a large crystal embedded in the cave wall. Beneath the crystal was an inscription written in a strange language. "What does it say?" Noah asked, staring at the glowing words. Clara tilted her head, studying the inscription. As if by magic, the words began to shift and rearrange themselves into a language she could understand. "It says, 'To claim the treasure, prove your hearts are pure.'" "What does that mean?" Noah asked, his voice trembling. Before Clara could answer, the ground beneath them rumbled, and the walls of the cave seemed to come alive. Shadows emerged, forming shapes of towering beasts. The whispers turned into deep, booming voices. "Who dares enter our domain?" one shadow growled. "We are Clara and Noah," Clara said, trying to sound confident. "Our mother sent us here." "Well, do you seek the treasure?" another shadow asked. Clara took a deep breath. "Our mother said this place would guide us. We've lost her, and we need help to survive." The shadows seemed to pause, their glowing eyes fixed on the siblings. "Very well," they said in unison. "Prove your courage. Choose who will face the trial." Clara stepped forward immediately. "I will." "No," Noah protested. "We're in this together." The shadows seemed pleased by their unity. "Then both of you shall face the trial." The crystal's glow grew brighter, and the siblings suddenly found themselves standing in a different part of the cave. In front of them was a narrow bridge spanning a deep chasm. The bridge looked old and unstable, with pieces missing. "Cross the bridge together," the whispers commanded. Clara and Noah exchanged a glance. "We can do this," Clara said, gripping Noah's hand. Slowly they stepped onto the bridge, carefully testing each plank. The bridge swayed dangerously, but they moved forward, supporting each other with every step.
Just as they reached the middle, a plank snapped beneath Noah's foot. He yelped and clung to the rope railing. "Clara, help!" Clara pulled him up with all her strength. Don't look down, she said. We're almost there. Finally, they made it to the other side. As they stepped off the bridge, the shadows faded and the crystal's light enveloped them. You have proven your courage and your bond, the whispers said. The treasure is yours. In front of them, a small wooden box appeared, glowing with the same light as the crystal. Clary opened it cautiously. Inside was a single golden coin and a note. The note read, "This coin will bring you prosperity, but only if you use it with kindness and wisdom." Clara and Noah looked at each other, their faces filled with hope. Mother knew we could do it, Clara said softly. Clara and Noah emerged from the cave, holding the golden coin tightly. The silver fox waited for them at the entrance, its tail flicking gracefully. You've done well, the fox said. But remember, the treasure's true power lies in how you use it. Go back home and trust in yourselves. Clara nodded. Thank you for guiding us, she said. Noah gave the fox a small wave before it disappeared into the forest. As they descended the mountain, the siblings felt stronger and braver than ever. When they finally reached home, they found Matilda and Abigail arguing loudly in the small house. Matilda turned to them, her face sour. Where have you two been? She snapped. You think you can wander off without permission? Clara stood tall, her voice steady. We've been where Mother wanted us to go. Matilda scoffed. Don't bring her into this. You're just like her, always trying to make trouble. Noah stepped forward, holding up the golden coin. This is what we found. It's a gift from Mother. Matilda's eyes gleamed with greed. Give it to me, she demanded, lunging forward. But Clara quickly hid the coin in her pocket. This coin is not for selfishness, Clara said firmly. It's meant to bring kindness and wisdom. We won't let it be used for anything else. Matilda's face twisted in anger. You ungrateful brats, she shouted. But as she moved toward them, something strange happened. The house seemed to grow colder, and a gust of wind swirled through the room. Matilda froze, her hand midair. Slowly, her expression softened, and she stepped back. What was happening to me? She whispered, clutching her chest. I feel calm. Clara and Noah exchanged a surprised glance. The golden coin's power was already at work. Over time, Matilda became less harsh, her greed fading like a distant memory. The golden coin brought prosperity to the family, but it also taught them to work together and support one another. Abigail, too, began to change, learning kindness from Clara and Noah. Years later, Clara and Noah grew into wise and generous adults, always remembering the lessons of the Whispering Cave. The golden coin remained in their family, passed down as a symbol of courage, kindness, and hope. And that's the end of our story. Did you enjoy Two Wives? Let me know in the comments below what you think the moral of the story is. Remember, practicing English doesn't have to be boring. Stories like this help you learn while having fun. If you liked this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this story with friends who want to improve their English too. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss more stories like this. See you in the next video. Keep learning and stay curious.